Well, loved ones, as per what I've been doing lately with the podcast anyway, is I have been recording an episode and then I will go back and be editing and then I will find something that I wish I had said or will make me think of something else as I'm editing. So here I am. And I realized I could go back and edit in, re-record, or whatever, kind of splice it in there. But I don't do that. I keep my podcast pretty. I mean, I do edit a lot of. I edit out the ums and all that stuff. Now with these videos, I don't edit at all. But anyway, in the latest episode, which should be out in a few days, I was talking about an atom, and when we zoom in on them with a microscope, when you get to the nucleus and you keep zooming in, eventually you find that really it's just an oscillating field of energy. So, what we think is actually matter, well, actually, the atom itself is what do they say, like 99.999 whatever percent empty space. So it's already mostly empty space. And then when we take the nucleus, we zoom in on it, we realize that it is pretty much just an oscillating field of energy. So there's nothing there except a little bit of energy. So everything that we see is pretty much empty space, with the exception of vibrating energy. So that's all we are, that's all anything is. Now, here's the part that it kind of made me think, I maybe should have touched on this. And please understand, I am not a physicist. In fact, I'm not a physicist, okay? But I do understand some things, okay? For example, like with the double slit experiment. What the double slit experiment teaches us is that when a particle is not being observed, it behaves as a wave. It's just a field of potentiality. It's a field of possibility. What I mean by that is and most people know what the double slit experiment is, but the double slit experiment said they took a electron gun and they were firing electrons at a wall that had two slits in it. Now, is the electron going to go through this one or that one? And then there's a wall on the back. So when it goes through the slit, it will hit one of those two walls. If it goes through a slit at all, it may hit that wall, whatever. So they just turned it on and they went away. Had lunch, whatever. They come back and they look and there's a wave pattern formed on the back wall. And it's like, well, how did that happen? Because it can only go through this or that. This looks as if it went through both and kind of caused a ripple like you would see on a pond if you were to drop a pebble in it or whatever. So it caused a ripple effect, which caused a wave pattern on the back wall. So it's like, well, how did that happen? So they decided, well, we're going to watch it and see how that happened, right? So they turn the electron firing gun on again and they watch. And this time, the electrons went through this slit or that slit and made just 2 bars on the back wall. Just 2 bars. Didn't do the wave pattern at this time. Well, why is that? The only difference is we were observing it. They're like, well, set a camera up on it. Put a camera up. Okay. And then we'll walk away. So, these electrons won't think we're looking at it. All right. So they do that. And again, 2 bars on the back wall. They're like, well, the electrons must know that they're being watched by the camera. So let's leave the camera there, but turn it off. Okay. So they do that. They turn the camera off. They walk away. They come back later. and the wave pattern is back on the wall again, which indicates that the electrons were not fooled. They knew the camera was off and they knew nobody was observing. That's rather amazing. That implies that either these electrons are intelligent and won't be fooled, or these electrons are not solid particles until they are observed. What that means is they are just a wave. They're this and that, they're that and this. They're a field of potential. It could be an electron. It could be here or it could be there. It could be up, it could be down. It could be anything until it is observed. That's when it collapses to this or that. Now, I'm sorry, I don't have an explanation for you. Nobody does. The brightest minds in the world, the greatest physicists known to man, cannot explain that. It's just a mystery. But what it teaches us is that until we observe a physical thing, it's not really a physical thing. Until it is observed, it is potential. It's a possibility. It's potentiality, as they say, I guess. That's rather amazing. In fact, it's mind-blowing. But what it tells us in the spiritual sense, in the people, those of us who are trying to make better lives for ourselves, it teaches us that what we focus our attention on becomes it. Otherwise, it's just potential. Otherwise, it's just possibility. So we can focus our attention on the good things that we want in our life. This is the lesson. This is our takeaway. We can focus on the things that we want in our life and collapse it into physical matter by observing. The double slit experiment proves that. I mean, there's also Schrodinger's cat, which was another theoretical physicist thing, experiment, where Schrodinger was a physicist. He said, if I put my cat in a box with some poison and I walk away and I come back, is the cat in the box alive or is it dead? We don't know until we what? Observe it. Until we open the box and look, the cat is both alive and dead, or neither alive or dead. Whichever. Take your pick. So, there you go. Until it's observed, it's potential. So choose what you want to observe. Or direct your attention, like we know, where attention goes, energy flows. Direct your attention to the things that you want. Direct your attention to the reality that you want. And begin to be it. Now, being it is not just a state of mind because we live in a physical world. You have to begin doing it. See, that's kind of where a lot of people fall short, is they think, oh, I'm going to be it. Oh, in my mind, I am being well, as the example I was using on the latest episode, I'm being a successful entrepreneur on Etsy. Well, that's great. You be that in your mind, but you need to start moving in that direction. Thank you, Jason Brashears of Archaics. You need to begin moving physically in the direction of that reality. You do live in a physical world, so you have to physically do something. But there will be some magic that happens. Your higher power will, or the neutral field, will see that this is what you are projecting. This is the reality that you are being. So it will reflect it back to you. Anyway, loved ones, the new episode will be out this Sunday. That will be, oh gosh, look at this. The 18th, Sunday, August 18th. Yeah. Unless something crazy happens and I can't, but which has happened. But anyway, Sunday, August 18th, 2024. Until then, here's this. And please like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. And I love you dearly. Toodaloo, buckaroo.